conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen? Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I
Now unmute the mics. They can hear. All right, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good Sunday evening to you guys. How y'all doing today?
Good.
You all right, Andrea? Tristan, you all right? You tired? Everybody looks tired, exhausted. Tristan, you've been working, you've been following, you're doing live, you've been doing hair all day. Andrea been taking care of puppies all day. And I ain't been doing anything. I'm the only one that's just well rested. I've just been sitting around the house, just not doing anything. I had a good, well rested day. Y'all ready to kick off the show? I'm your host, B Level.
I'm Andrea.
And I'm Tristan Transformation.
And together we make the baddest podcast in the world. I'm going to change my tagline from this side of Mississippi to the baddest podcast in the world. We go by the name of the Unpacking the Baggage podcast. Now, listen, I'm going to start off talking about my sponsors. We need sponsors, okay? If you have got Candy, you got to put your phone on mute, Candy, baby. We need sponsors, right? We are streaming anywhere from 100 to 150,000 views a month. And those people that are viewing our podcast, they have great buying power, right? They're buying cars, they're buying houses, they're buying products, they're buying hair, they're doing that. So if you would like to talk to those people and be a sponsor of this great podcast, all you have to do is send an email to Unpacking the Baggage Podcast LR@gmail.com. It's pretty long. Unpacking the Baggage Podcast LR@gmail.com, or inbox myself, inbox Tristan, or inbox Andrea, and somebody from our sales department will get in contact with you now. All right, now I need to go and talk about. We need you to do one thing, Tristan. Let people know who are on and what they need to do as far as sharing.
Hey guys, if you're on this broadcast, please go ahead and share, and then also put share in the comments. That way I can shout you out. It looks like we already have some people here. Hey Tam, hey girl, hey Patricia, thank you for sharing. Let's see here. I can't see who else is on here. But hey, y'all.
Veronica Jones, my aunt, is on here. Deja Johnson. What up, Deja? She's on here. Maria Williamson is on here. Tam Cordell Berry is on here. Why come you can't see the people that's on here?
Because it's on your broadcast, and I'm normally sitting over there.
So you wanna have my phone? Give me your phone. Give me your phone. Let's swap.
No, you won't swap my phone.
So I can hear, so I can see. Okay, now you up to date there. All right, you're up to date. Now you got everybody. All right, listen, thank you guys. Tonight, we are talking about something very serious, very near and dear to some people's heart. I'm going to go ahead and bring my guest on. I've already talked about the sponsors. I've already talked about sharing. So I've got one of my guests that are going to be on video tonight, and then the other guest is going to be on the phone. So let me go ahead and bring my video guest in tonight. Yo-Yo McDaniels, there you go, Yo-Yo. How you doing, baby girl?
Hey, Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo,
Hey.
can you hear us good?
Yeah, I can hear you guys fine.
Okay, good. All right, and then let me go ahead, and we've got Candy Webb. She has some technical difficulties, but we got her. Candy, unmute your phone. Are you on with us? Okay, all right. So, y'all, we've got Candy Webb on the line, and then we have Yo-Yo McDaniels. Let me go ahead and introduce both of these, okay? Now, the first person that I'm going to introduce is my video person. This woman has known me for almost, 20, 30 years, Yo. We have worked together. Yo-Yo is a friend of my family. She is a mother. She is a very caring person. I want y'all to give a big round of applause for our guest, Miss Yo-Yo McDaniels. Okay, the next person, and I'm going to get you to say something in a minute on Yo-Yo, but the next person we have that's on the phone with us, she's a mother, entrepreneur, Arthur. She's a supporter of the podcast, as well as Yo-Yo is a big supporter of the podcast. Candy is an event planner, and she makes her own earrings by hand. Big round of applause for Miss Candy Webb.
Candy.
How you girls, you ladies doing? Y'all good? Y'all good today?
I'm good. Yeah, I work today.
So I want to stop and say this. First of all, the subject that we're going to be talking about tonight is very serious. It's very heartfelt. So I want to first of all do this first. Give you guys thanks for coming on the platform and sharing your story, even though this might be very difficult at times. Big ups to y'all. Big round of applause for
Major.
both of you ladies coming forward to tell your story. We're going to get into some sensitive things. We're going to talk about some things that you might be uncomfortable with tonight. I want you all to know that this is a safe space. You can share anything that you want to share with us. And at any time that you want to stop or it gets difficult, go at your own pace. Share what you want to share. Share as much or as less as you want to share. This is about you. My hope and my desire is tonight that we help somebody that might be struggling with these two things that we're going to talk about, which is sexual assault, rape, and sexual molestation are the three things that we're going to cover tonight. Okay. And so I do want to stop and give you guys major kudos, big round of applause. And one more time to both of y'all for coming forth and telling your story. Okay. Are you good? Candy, you good? Yo, you good?
Yeah.
All right. I want to start by just kind of talking. I always try to put numbers up. Okay. But I want to start this episode tonight talking about how we got to talking about this issue. I guess the early part of last week, I got a call from Tam, who's on the line, who's our podcast producer, and she asked me if I had watched the Miss Pat interview with Club Shay Shay. And it was very funny because I just finished watching it. And she said that girl, Miss Pat, has been through so much trauma that I feel like we need to do an episode with some of our viewers. Now, I'm going to let you guys know that 80% of the people that listen to us are women. All right. And they're women between the ages of 25 and 45. All right. Almost 80% of our listeners are females. So as Tam was talking about some of the trauma that Miss Pat was talking about, molestation, she was raped, her mother was talking about her. It was just a whole bunch of stuff that she was just acting and talking through the interview as if those things had not affected her. As she was talking to me and saying that we should do this episode, three the number three kept coming in my mind, right? We need three people. We need to interview three people, three of our listeners that have gone through this trauma, right? But two names, the number three kept coming to my mind, but only two names came to my mind. My name, the name of Candy came to my mind, and also Yo-Yo came to mind. Now, here's the deal, Tristan, Andrea. I don't understand why three came when God only gave me two names.
Mm.
So the only thing, and I was talking to Deja today, and the only thing that she and I could come up with is there might be somebody on this episode tonight that might tell their story that's that third person, because God don't miss.
Right.
He just doesn't miss, right?
Right.
He gave me the number three came to mind, but he only gave me two names.
Right.
And so I feel like I'm missing somebody that might be listening to this episode tonight or the future that is going to come forward and share their story. And that's the only thing that I could think about. So I needed to start by telling y'all that. And that's how we came up. I reached out to Candy. I reached out to Yo-Yo. And I didn't know that Candy and Yo-Yo had both experienced this. But once I called them, they both told me that they had experienced both of these situations. And both of them were willing to come on our platform and talk about the situation. So that's full disclosure of how we got to this point. That's full disclosure as to how we got Candy here. There's full disclosure as to how we got Yo-Yo here. So I just want to start, before we start, Tristan, go ahead and read some more of the comments and have them to share it because we need our viewers to go up too.
Bert says, "Hey y'all, I shared it. Thank you, Bert." Tina, hey, share this live. Andrea Williams, Gabrielle Pitts, if y'all can share this live for me. Thank y'all for joining. Let's see here. Hey, Belinda. Larry just tapped in.
So if y'all are coming on, please share the live and please share it in the comment. Tristan will share you out. We need this to go viral. Okay. So please share. We're streaming on three platforms. We're streaming on Instagram, Those people, let me click over here and make sure that over on Instagram, nobody's saying anything over here. We got a lot of people over here on
And then
Instagram.
also Yo-Yo and Candy, y'all can also hit at followers in the comments. That way you guys people can join as well.
All right, we got 96 The Vox. We got Miss Charmers over here on Instagram. We got Rudy Davis on Instagram. So we are streaming on 3 platforms. I'm gonna try to go back and forth and make sure we don't have any comments over there. All right, so I want to start first by talking about I think the heaviest topic, right? Which is molestation and rape. And I want to start with Yo-Yo first. After having some conversation with Yo-Yo and Candy, I'm gonna let Yo-Yo start first. Yo-Yo, can you hear me fine? Candy, can you put your phone on mute for me? Okay. Yo-Yo, can you hear me fine?
Yeah, I hear you perfect.
So, in conversating with you the other day, and I'll start by saying that you were a victim of molestation. Wait a minute, before we start, I want to do one other thing because I do like to put my numbers up here. Okay, here's what I want to do because I looked up and I wanted to know the difference of rape versus sexual molestation. Okay, so I went and here's what I came up with. Here's the definition of rape. Okay. Andrea, you want to read that?
Rape is a type of sexual assault involving sexual intercourse or other forms of sexual penetration carried out against a person without their consent. So that means that they actually have penetrated.
They have penetrated. All right. Sexual assault. Go ahead and read that.
Sexual assault refers to sexual contact or behavior that occurs with an explicit consent of the victim. Some forms of sexual assault include attempted rape, fondling, or unwanted sexual touching, forcing a victim to perform sexual acts such as oral sex or penetrating
perpetrators'
bodies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So rape is actually penetrating. Sexual molestation is fondling. It's penetrating. It's oral. So that's the difference. Okay. Before we start, I always, if you're listening to this and you are a victim of sexual assault or rape, I do want to put this 1-800 number. This is the National Sexual Assault Hotline, and it's 1-800-656-4673. Okay. If that's a number where if you don't want to come forward, you can call that place, this number here, and they will help you through that. Okay. You can remain anonymous, but they will help you through that. So I do want to start doing that. Okay. Here's the statistics on sexual violence. Andrea, you want to read that one more time?
Out of every 6 American women it says out of every 6.
1 out of 6.
1 out of 6. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. 1 out of every 6 American women has been the victim of an attempted or completed rape in her lifetime.
So when I started looking at that compelling statistics, I couldn't help but think of our 150,000 streams that we have. How many of our women that watch us, week after week have been victims of sexual assault? And since I put that out, there have been several people that have inboxed me and said that they have been victims and that they thank us for doing this episode. I want to start with you, Yo-Yo. Which one of those were you a victim of sexual molestation or was it actual rape?
It was actual rape.
Okay. And I want you to go back to when it happened. I want you to start by, if you can give as much or as less about it, tell how old you were, and just basically tell us what happened.
Okay, so when I was a little girl, I was around, I'm going to say about 10 or 11 years old. We lived in Houston, Texas. So we were from Arkansas, but my mom had relocated to Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a particular weekend. We only came to Arkansas maybe twice a year. So my mom wanted to come home to be with family. In the midst of us coming home to be with family, we went over to one of my aunt's house, which was her sister.
Take your time.
So I think they were going to go shopping or whatever. So she said, Well, I'm gonna just leave you and your brother here with your cousins. Y'all will be fine while we go shopping. Then when we get done, we'll come back to get you. Now, coming to Arkansas was joyous for me because in Houston, I didn't really have any family. I had my biological sister, but it was like her dad's family. And in
Mhm.
Arkansas was my family. So I was always excited to come home. I wanted to just be with my cousins, so we could have fun, catch up and stuff like this. But at the time, like I said, I was like 10 to 11 years old. So I'm basically a baby. I'm in elementary school. So when they dropped us off, she was like, your cousin, he's going to babysit y'all, and when we get through, we'll come back and get you. So we were in the living room sitting down, me and some cousins, my brother, whatever. And I had an older cousin that was in the back of the house or whatever. So he was like, yo. And I was like, is somebody calling me? Because you really can't hear anything in the back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him say, yo. And I was like, okay, let me go see what he wants. So I go back there and he said, can you go get me a shirt? Or it was something he wanted me to get out of the dryer or the washer, one of them. I really can't remember.
Okay.
So I didn't think nothing of it. Went and got it and I gave it to him. And when I gave it to him, he grabbed my arm. And I'm like, let me go. Grabbing my arm. And I'm thinking he's joking. Like he grabbed my arm like he was trying to pull me against him. And I kind of yanked and he pulled me back and he put his hand over my mouth. So when he pulled his hand over my mouth, he closed the door. And he a cocky guy. I'm 10, 11 years old. He's like 17, maybe 18. And he pulled my clothes down and stuck himself inside of me.
Okay, so after he does this, is there other people in the house? Are you guys in the house alone? Are there other kids there?
The bigger kid, he's the babysitter.
Okay.
Everybody, they're young. They're younger than me.
Okay.
I'm 7, so they had to be like 5, 6.
And so they were in the front of the house. You guys
Yes,
were in the back.
yes. And when he grabbed me, I was screaming and hollering. I was trying to bite his hand, like, get off of me, but he wouldn't stop. And when he finished, he just kind of went on back, like he was going to the bathroom or whatever and wash up. And I just couldn't believe it. I didn't know what to do. I was fucking stunned because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I just screamed. Didn't nobody hear me. So he walked off like nothing ever happened. I got up. I went to the bathroom. And I kind of wiped. I saw all this white stuff on me and I was bleeding. So I was like, I don't know what this is. And then I'm shocked. I don't know what to do. Back then we didn't have phones. I couldn't call my mom now. I was scared. I didn't know if I told somebody if they would believe me. Then I didn't want to cause confusion in my family. I just didn't know what to do. So I just kind of went in the bathroom and cleaned myself up. And I took some tissue and put it in my underwear because I was bleeding a little bit. So after that happened, I walked up to the front and all the kids and stuff were watching TV. And I just kind of went outside and sat on the porch. I cried and just waited for my mom to come and get me. I'm 51 years old. And to this day, it still bothers me because I never told my mom that what happened to me. I never opened my mouth. I act like it didn't even exist.
So when your mom came back to get you, you didn't say anything to her.
No, I was sitting on the porch and she was like, "Why are you outside?"
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I didn't want to go back in the house.
Yeah. You mentioned that when we were talking this week, you're saying, so still today, your mother still doesn't know, or does she know now?
I just told her last week.
So you've lived with this from the age of 11 to 12 to 51. Can you tell me why you decided to tell her last week?
I decided to tell her last week because I've never really had a relationship with my mom.
Mhm.
It's a sense of void. Um, I'm a mother now, and by me being a mother now, my kids are the closest thing to me, and I have two beautiful grandchildren. And I've been talking to my daughters since birth. Like I tell them, something don't feel right, come to me and let me know. I said I vowed. I said if I ever became a mom, I'm gonna make sure my kids can come to me and talk to me about anything. If
Right.
any, if it doesn't feel right, let me know, because they know I will fuck anybody up.
Do
It's,
you feel like, yo, that you didn't tell your mom when it happened? Did you feel like she wouldn't do anything about it? You feel like she would not believe you?
I felt
And I
like
know you go ahead.
I didn't tell her because people always say if anything happened in the family, keep it in the family. Don't say anything on the outside.
Right.
So I didn't say anything. And then I felt like if I would have told her, it would have caused confusion between her and her sister. And I didn't want that. I
Because this was her sister's kid.
Yeah.
Okay. When you told her last week, did you tell her in person? Did you tell her over the phone?
I told her over the phone.
You told her over the phone. What
What was her
eh,
reaction?
what was her reaction? Yeah.
For me, I felt like she was hurt. I felt like she was disappointed that I didn't say anything to her because she could have handled it, differently.
Hmm.
But as far as me, all I wanted to hear was, and I didn't hear it. I'm sorry that happened to you, baby. I love you. I would have protected you.
I'm so sorry, Yo-Yo.
I didn't hear none of those words. Oh, it's still fucking with me right now.
Do you think that she kind of is in that stance, or is it because sometimes our parents, they don't really know what to say, and especially when things kind of hit them sideways, it takes some people some time to process. And I know that this was a situation that happened with you, but even as parents, we're like, oh my God, like I should have known, or I shouldn't have did this, or you just kind of going through all of those things. And so, do you? Is she just that kind of mom that just would not do that, or
I,
you think that she was just kind of blindsided by it and just taking it all in?
I feel like she was blindsided and she's taking it in. And right now, I just feel like she's probably still in disbelief because I know if she could get to him, if she had the opportunity to get to him, she would.
Hmm.
And it
Question,
would.
yo, did you tell anybody? So you've lived with this. Have you shared this with anybody?
Yeah, I did tell. Someone that's close to me.
Okay.
I
Okay.
told them, but I didn't tell them details. I never told
Okay.
anybody details.
Okay. And was this an adult? The person that you told?
We're the same age.
Yeah.
But I
Okay.
told them years ago.
Okay.
Someone told me, I told them years ago.
Okay. Um,
I have a
yeah.
question. So, Yo-Yo, I mean, what would you most definitely say to anyone who's listening? Like, have you sought counseling for this situation? What was I mean, has it changed like because sometimes when a woman's first sexual encounter is not a good encounter, it can mess with you throughout, your entire life. So I'm just saying, like, have you looked into therapy from a sexual standpoint, or do you encourage talking to a therapist, or are you in Christ and kind of go to church to kind of deal with it? How are you dealing with this? Because it for me to see you still upset about it, which you should be, it just says that it's still there. I
Still
mean,
trauma
really,
that
it's
you're
still
dealing
a
with.
lot of trauma there.
Have
It
you
is.
been to counseling for a year? Okay.
Yeah, I would most definitely recommend.
Okay. Question, yo. Sometimes when somebody goes through something like that, it makes them hypersexual active, and sometimes it makes them not like sex. Do you feel like that has, because you went through that at 11 to 12, do you feel like it has made you want to go there more or made you want to go there less?
In the beginning, I didn't want to be. I didn't want anybody to touch me at all.
Right.
I just wouldn't do anything. But as I got older, it just seemed like my body changed.
Hmm.
Everything just starts. I just started developing way quicker than other people. Like I
Hmm.
started having breasts and ass, and it started getting to my head. I want to say, and
Right.
then like I liked older. It just made me attracted to older men, like older people.
Okay.
Want to be around anybody my age. I just wanted to be around older people. I wanted to be with older people.
Okay. Okay.
Did your accuser, did you has so I know that you're just speaking on this to your mom, but usually if a person the person that did that to you, usually you probably were not the first person that young man did that to. Has there been any type of family discussion or talk or you know,
I don't think the family knew. The family didn't know, did they, y'all? Okay.
yeah. Well, you know, sometimes you kind of hear about this person in the family did this, or this person in the family is this kind of person, you know. So just like, because my thing is, like I said, if he did that to her, how many other children did he do that to, you know? And that's just kind of what. And I'm so glad you're sharing your story because, you know, even if when you have the courage to kind of even speak to any of the other family members about it, or even any siblings or cousins that are your age, you would be surprised that how when the women get in the room, you'd be like, oh, that happened to you, oh, it happened to me, you know. So it's one of those things, and I'm sure that you were probably not the only.
Yo, do you think, and I'm going to ask you one last question, and then we're going to talk to Candy. Do you feel like that you would be open to talking to a counselor about this? Do you feel like you're ready to talk to somebody about this?
I feel like I need to in order for me to move on. I
Yeah.
feel like I need it really bad.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So thank you for being brave, yo. You did great.
you did.
You
You
did
did.
wonderful.
And this is a
I know
start.
you were really nervous.
Yeah, this
I
is
know
the
you were
start.
really nervous about it. You did wonderful. You did
Mhm.
good.
And yo, I know I've been quiet. I kind of I've been through the same thing, so I'm just listening to your story, and it's very similar in different ways. I know a lot of times people are like, you need to go to counseling, you need to go to counseling, but counseling is. I've never been to counseling, but I figured out other ways. There's also other ways you can cope with it as well. Like I still wear it. I still wear it on my sleeve every day, but I don't make it my life. You get what I'm saying? So like I found hair. Hair is my thing. And I feel like you have something inside. I don't know you, you know what I'm saying? I know of you. I'm sure you have that thing, but I'm sure you have something. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your profession that'll get you out of that. It's not always about counseling. And I know a lot of people say counseling, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be on you for life. You're still going to wear it for life. So it's just how you live your life. And I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your story. If you ever need somebody outside of the podcast to talk to, I'm definitely,
Thank you.
I'm definitely your brother in this. You know what I'm saying? We can talk about it. We can go to counseling together. We can talk about it. So
Good for you,
I
Tristan.
definitely know how you're feeling.
And Tristan, I do want to tap into that. I want to. I think you might be that third person that I'm missing.
You said what?
No. I think you might. I mean, really. I want to tap into that. I want to get to Candy. Candy, are you still on the line? You okay? Okay.
I wish I could see them. I can't see them at all.
You got to do it on the phone. You may be kind
It's
on.
lagging.
Oh, it's lagging.
Mm.
Candy, you're listening to Yo-Yo situation, and I want to give you the opportunity to start from the beginning as well. Were you a victim of rape, or were you a victim of sexual molestation? Okay. When did this happen? Hmm. They said they can't hear. Okay, okay, okay. I guess they're saying you can't hear. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna hang up and I'm gonna reconnect it and I'm gonna call you back. Sometimes this thing won't do it. So just hang up and I'm gonna call you right back. Okay. Okay. Hold on. All right. For those of you guys who are just tuning on, we're getting ready. Let me redo this. We're talking today rape, sexual molestation. We're talking to Yo-Yo McDaniel, and we're gonna get Candy Webb on the phone. My Bluetooth. I'm reconnecting my phone so that you guys can hear her well. Um,
And then while he's doing
yeah, go
that,
ahead.
for
Go
the ones
ahead.
that just joined in, please go ahead and share this live broadcasting and also hit share in the comments. That way I can shout you out. Hey Tracy that just came in. Dave said he can't hear. I'm not sure if he can't hear us or he
He
can't
couldn't
hear
hear her.
Okay.
Yeah, we finna reconnect her.
Can y'all still hear me?
Yeah, they can hear you.
Hey Tam, hey Shannon. Thank y'all for sharing. Hey Tanya. Hey Shantae. Hey Dave.
Yeah,
Hey Lamika. Thank y'all for sharing.
yeah, they couldn't hear her first, so I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect. This roadcaster always does that at the beginning.
Thank
Okay,
you, Tanya.
okay, we should be able to get her now.
Oh y'all, we're gonna try this again.
Hmm.
We're gonna try to get Candy back on the line.
I got to tell her to call me back. Let me see my phone. Tell her to call back. Yeah, she got a phone on Do Not Disturb, so we can't call. Let me see if I could text her. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, she called back. Okay. Okay. She's gonna call us back. There you go, Tristan. She has a phone on Do Not Disturb, so nobody could interrupt her. But that's why I can't call her back. Hopefully, she'll get that text message. Yeah. So today we're talking rape. We're also going to get into physical abuse. All right. After we dive into this, we're going to talk about physical abuse. We understand that 1 out of 6 women have been raped or molested in their life. We do understand that 80% of the people that listen to us every week are females between the ages of 25 and 44. Okay. So we know that this has to be, impacting a lot of women, a lot of women. We have one of our very own, Tristan, has been through this. And as I started off saying, when I first started to do this, for some odd reason, God gave me the number of 3. The 3 people would tell their story on this platform, but He only gave me 2 names. And the 2 names He gave to me was Yo-Yo, of course, and Candy. And so I feel like there's somebody else that's listening to this broadcast that may be listening to the rebroadcast that need to come out and tell their story. I want to welcome you guys that at some point in time, I will open the request line. You might be that third person if it's not Tristan. If Tristan wants to tell his story, Tristan could be, but I feel like we're missing one person because the God don't miss, and He gave me the number 3. And I only have 2 people that are trying to tell it. Let me see if I can. She's waiting on me to call her back. Yeah, she's waiting on me to call her back. Can you at Yo-Yo? I mean, not Yo-Yo, but
She's on here.
okay. Tell her if she can hear me. Candy, if you
Candy,
can
go
hear
ahead
me,
and call back.
call back. I can't call you because you have your phone on Do Not Disturb. So call the request line back, Candy. I feel like there she is. Okay, here we go. Yeah, hopefully we can hear her now. All right, Candy, you there? Candy, are you there? Candy? Candy, are you there? Candy? No, we can't hear you. I don't know if you got your phone on speakerphone, but we can't hear you.
Yeah, take it off speaker.
We can hear you great.
Yeah, take it off speaker.
Yeah. Now we can hear you good. Yo, can you hear Candy?
Not really.
Okay, you can't hear Candy. Okay.
See if you can turn it up, Candy.
Yeah, okay. Okay. So if you guys are on, if you could hear Candy online, give me a thumbs up. Tam, let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear Candy talking on the phone. It's a little delay. I want to make sure before you start telling your story, Candy, that they can hear you. Typically, once I connect the phone to the Bluetooth, that they can hear you. Y'all, let me know. Let me know if they can hear Candy. Candy, say something so that they can see if they can hear you.
Yes, I can.
Okay, but I want to make sure they can hear you. Can y'all hear Candy? It's low.
They said
Okay.
it's low.
All right. So that was, I think that was early. We have a little delay. So just keep talking, Candy. Still low. Okay. This is what we're going to do, Candy. We're going to put you here. We're going to do. All right. Are you there, Candy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay. Now I know they can hear you. Okay. All right. So, Candy, I want you to start back from the front. They didn't hear you at first. You said that two of your mother's boyfriend actually, did they molest you or did they rape you?
They molested me.
Okay. How old were you?
I was in the third grade the first time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't remember what age you are in the third grade. So it was around the third grade.
Okay.
And we were like poor as dirt. So we didn't have like pajamas. We may sleep in a t-shirt and no bottom sometimes. So sometimes I may sleep on the couch because my siblings may be, in the bed that night or something like that. So one night I ended up waking up and he was just sitting on the couch. And I wasn't aware of him physically touching me. It was just what he said that let me know that he had been fondling me because he was sitting there when I woke up. And he was like, "You got one of the fattest pussies I've seen on a little girl." And I'm just kind of stuck like, what? I mean, I knew it wasn't a compliment, but I'm just like, okay, weird, But I think that night it just kind of stayed with me. So I ended up like calling my mom's name. And I guess the way that I called, he was right behind her because I had the courage to tell her then. And then he was like standing behind her and he was looking as if like, you say anything. So I was just kind of stuck and I ended up asking my mom something completely different than what I initially was going to say. So time went on and I went over to my aunt's house.
You didn't tell her that night, right?
No, I didn't tell her anything that night.
Okay.
So I was over to my aunt's house and my other aunt was there and we were kind of like I guess I was helping her fold clothes. We were doing something. And my aunt pulled me to the side and she was like, hey, have blank ever touched you? And I was like, yes. So I'm excited on the inside because I'm like, somebody gonna do something. Somebody's finally gonna do something. Well, she didn't do nothing. So, and I didn't tell my crazy aunt because he probably would have been dead. Because I just didn't know what to do. So time went on and I'm like, okay, nobody really gives a damn, really, because I just kind of felt like I had no value. Because I'm like, why would you ask me something like that and you're not taking any necessary precautions from here?
So let me ask you this, Candy. How long was it from the time that it happened, from the time that the aunt asked you? Was it some time?
It was some time. And this was the first offender, but that was a short thing because I ended up staying with my aunt, so I wasn't under his roof anymore.
Okay.
But what I can recall constantly is the second offender. And when he came along, because the first guy, he was kind of a low life or whatever. This one, he came along, he had a decent job, went to work every day, kind of a middle class citizen. I don't really know, but he came in. My mom introduced him to my grandmother, and so he said, "Hey," I'm like, "Oh, okay, well, hey, how you doing?" But I didn't realize that he was taking a liking to me. You know, if he went to the store, he was like, "Hey, Candy, you want to go?" And I'm like, "Yeah," bragging. Like, "Yeah, he taking me to the store and buying me whatever I want so I can come back and brag to my siblings that I got something and they didn't." Not knowing that this Negro was grooming me, you know. But when you're younger, you don't know what that is or what it looks like. So just out of curiosity, because like I said, I stayed with my aunt, but I love my mom. I didn't care what her shortcomings was. I wanted to go see my mom. So on the weekends, we would go to my mom's house, and everybody was outside. Like the house was completely empty. So I went in the house for something, and I saw like a porn VHS on the living room, you know, whatever. So I'm like, ain't nobody here. Let me watch it. Just being kind of sneaky as a kid. And I pop it in, and he walks in, and I'm like, damn, he finna tell my mama, you know. So he come in, and then he walked back out, and he was like, I'm not gonna tell your mama. And I'm thinking like, yeah, that's my nigga there. He ain't gonna say nothing.
Right.
Well, my mom was an epilepsy, and so she would have seizures all the time, go to the hospital. So she would be medicated sometimes. So this particular day, she was in there asleep because of her hospital visit and the medication. So he came to me, was just, acting sad about my mom having her seizure. And so I just kind of I guess he was looking for me to console him. So at first he started kind of rubbing his head on my chest, my flat chest. And I was like, okay, well, I really don't know what this is. Maybe this is by accident. I don't really know. So he lays on the couch and he asked me to come and lay with him. And when I lay with him, because I'm looking like, okay, this is like a daddy to me,
right.
Kind of father figure or whatever. So I'm laying on the couch with him, but he opens my legs and began to fondle me. And I'm just kind of stuck, I don't know what to do. I know this ain't right, but what do you do? What do you do at this time?
Do you know how old you were at this time, Candy? How old were you now?
I may have been 8 or 9 at this time.
Okay.
I may have been 8 or 9.
Okay.
And then, so it got to the point to where it was just constantly. Sometimes he would do it, and I would be hurting as we're playing outside. I can feel his finger, and then So I was like, okay, well, if I get my 2 little brothers to sleep in the bed with me, then he can't reach over and fondle me. So he still would do it because he used to drink all the time. So he would reach over to my brothers and still fondle me. So I'm like, okay, do I not go see my mom and then be safe at my aunt's house? Because I want to see my mom, but what do I do? I'm kind of stuck on what to do. So, like I said, he would reach over them and even fondle me. Or he would do certain things like just come talking, crazy all during the night, piss on the floor. It was just really, really crazy. And then I didn't say anything because I'm like, y'all didn't really give a damn the first time. So why would I even put myself in that predicament to be let down again for y'all not to say anything? So it wasn't until I think I may have would tell a boyfriend or a friend. And one particular time, my best friend, he had tried it with her. And I think I saw Willie Fears on the live. And he came down and acted a fool but I just remember feeling why can't I have somebody to protect me like that? What makes me less valuable to where she had somebody to kind of go to bat for her, but I didn't have that. So I don't know, it just took a hit on my self-esteem to where I'm like, it doesn't mean I ain't worth shit. I really just didn't know how to kind of unpack that.
And so, go ahead.
So, like I said, it was maybe 18 before I even told my older sister. And she went ape shit. And, that's what I needed. I was like, okay, I feel a little value. So let me go back a little bit. My little baby sister, which is his daughter, because he used to, just sleep naked to where you walk in the house in the middle of the day and you just see his private area because he laid there naked. But that was normal for us. There wasn't anything oh, that's weird. That's just what it was. It's almost like we had to get used to that. So my little sister was in there with him, and I was just watching the door the entire time because I'm like, if this bastard closes his door, then I'm going to go ape shit. So he ended up closing the door, and I just rushed in to get my little sister. He may not have had anything on his mind. It was just triggering. So I called my grandmother the next day, and I told her what happened. And so she said, well, Candy, we don't want to do anything because we don't want the kids to get taken. So I'm like, okay, I love my brothers and sisters. I'll take one for the team. But the very next thing she said made me feel low as shit. So when I told her what happened to my sister, she said, oh, if that bastard do something to that baby, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And I'm like, damn, what was that energy for me? Did you not care enough about me to step in? And it's like, I felt like everybody's life was more valuable than mine. So it's like, but it made me a better person for my kids. But it's still something that I had to kind of go through that didn't feel good at all. But yeah.
So you finally told your grandmother.
Yes.
And your grandmother said that she didn't want to make it a big deal because she felt like if she made it a big deal that CPS would come and take you and your sister. But when you had mentioned that that the situation had happened with your younger daughter,
Your
younger sister, I'm sorry, she basically came to her defense, but still didn't do anything.
Well, nothing happened to my little sister.
Okay.
She was just adamant about what will happen if he was to do that.
Okay, because he was so he was in the bed. So obviously.
Yeah, it was his daughter. Yeah,
so let me ask you this. Have you ever had a conversation with your sister to make sure that she didn't experience that either? Or do you not know? You did?
Yeah, I did.
And she said that it hadn't happened to her?
No, it hadn't happened. Because at first she didn't believe me. And I can understand that it was her dad.
Yeah.
And but she said she gave him a phone call because we had to write a story in Texas. We got basically paid to do a story, and that was a part of my story. And she called her dad, and her dad said he didn't do it. But she believed, that he did it.
She believed you?
Yeah, she believed me.
Did you ever tell your mother? Did you ever tell your mother?
I didn't tell my mom. The first time I did with the guy, it's like I kept watching TV shows, and every show was about somebody being molested. Different Strokes, Webster, Benson, everybody was being molested on these shows. And I'm like, this is a sign. Mm-hmm. So I mustered up enough courage to tell her, and then the first thing out of her mouth is, let me ask him. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why would you do that? Because for me, and me being a mother now, I'm going to automatically believe my child. Because I would rather believe my baby than it be true. Whether it's true or not, then him or her not to ever feel protected by me. Mm-hmm. So, but like I told you on the phone, as weird as this may sound,
now, that's what I was getting ready to go to, and I want people to listen to when I was talking to Candy the other day. She said to me, B-Level, I'm glad that this happened to me. And I thought, what the hell? And elaborate on why you said that, Candy.
The reason why that I'm glad that it happens to me, because sometimes we have to take a blow for the people that are coming after us. So had this not happened to me, I wouldn't have been so protective over my children. I may have let them spend a night over whomever's house. I may have let them do whatever, but I was covering over my babies because of what happened. And sometimes me and my kids have kind of dark humor. One particular time, my daughter was, she gets paid to fold her cousin's clothes just to kind of, a summer side hustle. So as we pulling up and I'm dropping her off, I see the boyfriend there, but I don't see the cousin's car yet. And I just kind of give them a look because I've always talked to them about being molested or anything about me from the very beginning. I had nothing to hide when it comes to my kids. So I was like, I kind of give her a look and I'm like, hey, is she finna pull up? And she's like, Mama, God, dog, everybody is not a child molested. But I'm just glad that they can laugh about it and they don't have the trauma that I have, behind stuff. So if I had to go through that for them, I'll do it all over again.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling like that you set the standard for people to come behind you. But baby, I would say that, that is not something that you should feel like you have to take for others. That's not right.
Yeah.
I understand your thinking. Let me ask you this. How do you feel like this has affected your relationship with guys, period? your dating life? You were married.
Being
How did it affect your marriage?
being protected was number one on my list, and I'm divorced because I didn't feel protected by him in any area. Like you being my protector is number one on the list. Well, it's on high on the list. So that plays a part. I want to feel safe with you, and when I don't like to be around anybody or any environment if I don't feel safe.
I want to ask both you and Yo-Yo, and since you're talking first, I'll ask you first. The person that did this to you, have you forgave him?
Yes.
And for me, yes, too.
Okay.
Yes, I was there his dying days.
So let me get this right. The person that did this to you is dead now.
He died from testicular cancer.
Okay. Yo-Yo, you were saying something?
And the person that did it to me is deceased too.
Wow. So both of you guys, your molester, your raper, your rapist is now deceased. Did either one of you guys, you told your mom, Candy, you didn't tell your mom, you told your grandmother. Were they approached about this? Did anybody in the family say anything to them before they died?
No.
What about you, Yo?
No, because I didn't tell anybody. I mean, the one person that I told, it was just between us. Because I said I was going to go to my grave with it. But before he died, yeah, I forgave him. Because I felt like hurt people. And I feel like I know for a fact there were others, but I'm here to tell my story.
And so when you say, Yo-Yo, there were others. When you say there were others,
I can
do you?
But I'm here to tell my story.
Okay.
And when it's their time, I pray God
they'll tell theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just wondering, if maybe somebody had done something to him, and that's why he was the way he was.
So that was going to be my other question. So you don't know, and Candy, do you know that if your molester, was he molested? Do you know? I know that you were much younger and he was much older, but I guess you don't even know that.
I don't think so. I think he was just born sick. I don't think so.
Okay. Yo-Yo, you said you don't know about your molester or your raper.
But from the way he did me, I promise you, that was not his first time.
Right. Absolutely.
Candy, I'll ask you the same thing that we asked Yo-Yo. Have you been to therapy for this?
Not for that, no.
Okay. And I'll ask you the same thing that I asked Yo-Yo. Do you think that you are ready or you're willing to talk to somebody about this? Or do you think you're not ready yet?
I'm ready, but what Tristan said, like, I tap into my creativity and pour into that, like, as therapy, and I know that may not be the right way, but like you said, I don't want to wear it. I want to talk from a victorious place and not a victim, so counseling may help me kind of with that. So, yeah, I'm willing.
If both of you guys were talking as you guys are, and there are people that are listening to this,
Brandy, we have a comment. Brandy Mosley says, "Thank you, ladies, for sharing. As I am a victim of the same circumstances, I wish I was brave as you two are. I'm sorry." That was to Yo-Yo and Candy.
Is there anything that you guys, any advice that y'all could give anybody who are listeners? I know that you guys, how has this made you? I hear Yo-Yo saying that this made her very open with her children to be able to talk about anything. How has that make your relationship, Candy, with your kids? Does that make you super close to them, not wanting them to go stay places, extra protective of them?
Not. I'm protected over them, but I'm not a helicopter mom. We have a really close relationship. There's nothing that they don't come and talk to me about. Like, they know that my door is open. I'm that safe place for them. I'm everything that I wanted growing up to them.
That's good. That's good.
And then Candy and Yo-Yo, I do have a question, and this might be a question for all three of us. Would it be safe to say that, the stereotype, why you wait so long? Why did y'all wait so long to say something? Wouldn't you say it's because you needed self-understanding is why we wait so long to say something?
Yeah. And then sometimes you feel like nobody's gonna care anyway, so I'm just gonna keep it,
As for me,
able to put a language to it. And then or even courage, like, okay, I'm gonna say something despite of how it may be affected, because a lot of times I didn't say anything because these are my siblings' fathers,
right?
And I'm just like, well, I feel like I have to kind of be quiet because I don't want to hurt them or offend them or talk about their dad. But
Yo, you were answering.
Yeah, I mean, as for me, I wish I had said something sooner. I wish I could have let my mom or my dad know what happened to me or other family members at that time. And I feel like had I did that, there would have been something about it. But as for me, my family and my children, like I said, as soon as they were old enough to talk, I taught them right and wrong, what doesn't feel right, let me know anything. And then I'm also an advocate for, women too. And I'm also a neighborhood mom, so to speak, type of person. Whenever my kids have friends and they act like they don't want to go home, it always go to the back of my mind. Are they being, touched on or whatever? So I've always made my home a safe haven. So I've taken care of about 30 kids.
It's funny you say that because I say I'm the uncle.
I just be like, come on to my house, y'all eat, spend the night, whatever, because I know at my house you're gonna be safe. You don't have to worry at my home.
And Candy, when you were talking, also you said that you feel like broken girls always kind of cling to you.
Sometimes it could be a little overwhelming. Because you're already dealing with kind of life issues, and it's like someone else that's gravitating to you, needing something that you're needing for yourself at the time. And I was like, why are all these little girls kind of clinging to me? But they don't know my story. They don't know anything about me. But some of them are dealing with abandonment issues. A lot of the issues that I'm dealing with, abandonment, they've been molested, anything like that. And I'm just like, I think those are called kindred spirits. And but I know that's why I say that's our assignment. We go through it for other people. The hard times of us being molested is for us to reach back and help other people. And it may be overwhelming at times, but it's like he didn't give us this trauma for nothing. Like, what are we going to do with this trauma that happened to us? We're going to sit on it, or we're going to sit back and help somebody else.
Andrea, there's a comment over here on Instagram.
Yes, Nakia J, I think it's Nakia J. She said, "My God, why does this happen? And when will it stop?" And let's see. And then you have she spoke again. Yes, speak to your kids. I most definitely want to just say really quick. I did hear you guys, and again, I'm just gonna kind of speak on therapy. I really, really, really encourage you guys to, find that person, because as you speak about things, it does get easier to talk about. As a woman, some things has happened to myself as well. And for me, it was a little bit different because it was in my home, and I had to look at this person every day. And this person did, have a come to Jesus per se conversation and did apologize. And so I think that when your family I could most definitely relate to Candy because it does it a lot of these things when they happen, they leave you extremely unprotected. So unprotected is it is my number one, most definitely when dating. You don't somebody say something to me, you don't say nothing back, you out of there. Just and so it does, and I wasn't penetrated. However, when your family or your mother does not protect you, it leaves a lot of things that go on with you. Like you said, abandonment, not protected, not feeling valued, not wanted, you move into promiscuous activity. There's just a lot of things that come with it. And I did hear all of you guys say that you kind of pour some things, into your creative side. And sometimes I just want you guys to know to not to try to look at that in a different perspective. Sometimes we pour things into that so that we don't really have to deal with that. And for me, I just think that if you have any Christianity in you, you have to feel that all of us have holes in us, whether they are things that have happened to us, whether it's, and if we don't feel those things with the right things, you just fill them with other things, so I just encourage you guys to fill those holes and those voids with things that will make you whole and will help you. I was a foster parent for 6 years. I started out with a little girl in one of my communities, and I started dealing with children that had sexual maladaptives, all kind of issues. So I get it too. I most definitely and it was the reason that I decided to do that, because of my situation. However, again, and another thing, God, like you said, he gives us nothing for us. Everything he gives you, he wants it back in some shape, form, or fashion. If he gives you an issue and a concern, he wants you to own that, understand that, be okay with that, and then give that to somebody else. So I just, and the reason that I can talk about my situation, without it being so emotional for me, is because I did the work. But that little girl that those things happen to, it shows up all the time. And sometimes I have to look at myself and say, where is it coming from? Where is it? Why am I feeling like that? And when I'm feeling like that, it's because some of those things I'm still working through those things. I'm still learning myself every day. And yes, I did it with my kids. I was the same way with my kids. It makes us super crazy about my kids. My brothers could go in the room and be playing with my daughters, and I would kick the door open. And I knew that my brothers would not hurt my daughters, but because it's just a trigger. It's most definitely a trigger. And so you trust nothing, you trust nobody. And the sad part about these things too, that I'm listening to these stories, is the majority of the times that these things happen, it always happens with somebody that your parents put you around. Now, granted, I love my mom. And if I can be half the woman she is, I would be thankful to God. But our parents were parents. My mother was married to this man a long time ago, not her current husband. And she decided to stay in that marriage. And to deal with that, just that over this, it does a lot of things. And we were talking, and just I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. We were talking about
Take
porn.
your
It was so
time,
it was so crazy because we were talking every time that y'all hear me say something. It's not so much that I'm Christian on this show, it's just that there's always a why to me. And so last week we were talking about porn. It has nothing to do with this show, and I don't want to be out of, but he started there. He started watching it and drinking, and things escalated from there. And so I always say, I just have this thing, like some people cannot, with their feet, their spirits, and their souls, they can't control it. And some of us can. It's like if you smoke or you drink, some of us can handle it, some of us can't.
Yeah.
So that's why I felt the way that I felt even last week about that situation. It wasn't that I was really being perfect Patty. It's just, there are things that trigger. And so I just try to stay away from those things, especially even in the house with my kids and my girls. Those are things that I ask people, and I've always protected them. Just like, we're not doing that. They couldn't spend a night over people's house. We just weren't doing that. And so again, I thank you guys. I most definitely, really, really, really thank you guys for coming on here and sharing your stories. And again, get the therapy. Get it, because it will spill over. It most definitely will spill over, and it'll start showing up in places that you really don't want it to show up in, because it's just who we are. So again, thank y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Nika says, parents, please start protecting and listening and believing your children. I agree with that. This is the first time I ever agree with Andrea. So yes, it does seem like it happens where parents put. It seems like it always happens where our parents leave us, and that's how it happened for me. I'm not gonna be long time. I'm gonna just be brief. It happened to. I didn't know it was happening to me. I kind of knew. I didn't know. I was young. I was innocent. It is truth in that kids are innocent. Like
They are.
I didn't know I was doing anything wrong until I got older, and then I started hearing little, that nosy kid. Oh, okay, what they talking about? Okay, they talking about me. Okay, so what I was doing was wrong. I'm like, okay, well they were doing it to me, And my mother was young, and to me it always happens with younger parents. My mother had me when she was 16, 17. So just imagine her age and my age at 5 and 6. So at 5 and 6, I'm getting left over at babysitter's house, and you got men, not women. You got men, teenage boys. Oh, you do this with this boy. You do this with this boy. I'm like, okay. And, they're bigger than me, so like, okay, I guess this is what boys do. What I'm saying? I'm the only child. I don't know. I don't be around other people. So some kids just don't know that they're doing stuff until they get older. I didn't know I was different because I started showing signs. Because after so long, I was okay. The first time they told me that I'm going to tell on you, the first time that we got caught, well, they got caught. A guy walked into the room and was like, "Oh, I'm going to say yes. I'm thinking he's going to save us." Whole time he's joining it. Oh, you do him, you get on top of him, you kiss him, you hug him, you rub him. We call it hunching back in the day. You hunch him. He basically delegating duties for us to do. I've never seen it on TV. No one in my family has ever done it to me, but this particular babysitter. I go over here and they do all this stuff to me, and then this one particular time when I realized it was wrong was when, okay, I'm going to tell your mom. That shit scared the hell out of me. My mom was young. She liked to get the belt and whoop me. So like, I thought I was going to get in trouble. I'm like, okay, if this is wrong, then why are we doing this? So in the back of my mind, like, I just kept it to myself for so long because I felt like I was going to get in trouble. Like, I never wanted, I was scared of my mom. So like, I never told anybody, but this one particular board, my grandmother was a hairstylist too. And she had a woman that worked with her, and I believe she had an older son. And I told him, he was like, you need to tell, he pulled me to the side. He was like, hey, I'm not going to tell your mom. You need to tell somebody. I'm like, well, can't you tell? You're older. He was talking to me like, and I was at an age where I'm understanding what he's saying. He was like, hey, I'm going to walk you home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to tell your mom. So I remember my mom saying, why is your shirt ripped? Because, the older guy, he ripped my shirt off. He tried to take my clothes off because when I went back, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this. This is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't even know the guy's name, but the letter J sticks with me. I think his name started with a J. He was like, and he had a little brother too that was my age. So we was over there. They were making him do stuff too. So he came over and got his little brother. And then I think him and my mom and my grandmother was close. So he took me over there too. He took me home. He said, hey, I'm just dropping him home. And, we all stayed in an apartment. We have this apartment over here. I call it the projects. We have this project over here, this project over here. So he was like, I'm not going to tell on you, but you don't need to go back over here. I'm like, well, this is where my mom wants me to be at. She don't get home to like such and such time. So as I think this one particular time, somebody came in and was like, hey, what are y'all doing? So I'm thinking, he was like, okay, finally, somebody getting me away from this. He finally came in and was like, he was telling me him to do stuff too. And then I'm like, damn, so is all y'all doing this? So like, I never told anybody until like I was like older because I always thought it was wrong. And I used to hear my cousins say, oh, he's going to be gay. He's going to be gay. But I was confused because to me, I thought gay was, what I seen gay was on TV was like Shanae dressed in like girl clothes. So I'm like, well, I'm not gay because I don't want to dress like a girl.
Right.
So it was just such a battle with confusion with me. Like I was so confused. Like I didn't say nothing until I was older. And I even was raped when I was 19, 20. Like I was old enough to tell somebody. So that it just fucks up your mind. So like it's hard when you say go talk to somebody. It's kind of hard because at that age you were confused. You don't know what was going on, why it happened. So like you don't know what to say. So like that's why I channel my energy into hair.
Right.
Because like I don't know what to say. If we was all you took me in a room right there, I wouldn't know what to say to you
Yeah.
because I didn't have the knowledge to know what was going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's different for everybody.
Yeah. And I think that too, like when you are young, you most definitely, like I said, I think that all of us was kind of saying, what is happening to me? Well, who's doing, because you don't know. You're a child, so you really don't know. But I think that as adults, we have to take responsibility for who we are and who we're becoming. Um, and again, especially when things really bother you and you can't sleep at night. We all have our things that keep us up at night. And when it doesn't feel right. When you can't sleep at night, and it's at a place where it's there. And some people deal with things differently. Some people they don't need it. They put it far in the back of their head. They let it go. It's done. But for me, that just wasn't the case. And I think it's sad because a lot of times all of us have said something to, like, I did tell my mother, probably there was more than one occasion of things that had happened to me, from different individuals. And I told her about these individuals probably maybe 10 years ago. And when I told her, she said, she said, "I am so sorry that happened to you." And, it was like this release, it really was at that time. But the man that she was with, she knew about that situation. And so I kept telling her, I was like, this is why I'm fucked up, because I was like, it wasn't just that, it was this and this, and so, but she didn't understand that. She was a young mother with 5 children. I was the oldest of 5, and she was taking care of us and life in.
It leads me to a question because
And it's more than the 1 out of 6. It's probably about 3 out of 6.
yeah, it probably is, and maybe with the Black community, it's
It
different.
most
That maybe
definitely.
just all nationalities, but
I feel like it's
the
I do
comedian,
too.
the comedian that was on the Shay Club, Shay, Miss Pat, she was just talking like it didn't affect her, and so I'm asking the 4 of you guys who have all been through it, do you just channel it until you have triggers? That do you just push it down? Do you just not talk about it? Do you just cope with what's going on? Andrea, start with you
Yeah,
first.
you push it down. When something has happened to you more than once, you tend to become numb to certain things. Um, so like for me, a numbness came with even feelings. They came. Even in different relationships. If I felt unprotected, it was I got to a place where I just kind of expected that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get to a place where you just push it as far down as you can. You push it back in your head as far back as you can. And you hope that nobody interrupts it. You know what I'm saying? You say, if I don't have to talk about it and nobody can see it, and you become this dressed up garbage can. I tell women all the time, like, we cannot be dressed up garbage cans. You put on these clothes on the outside, you look all good, and then underneath this dress, it's just contamination. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so you're almost hoping and praying that nobody lifts the dress.
So yo, did you struggle with telling your story on this platform? When I asked you to come on and talk about your situation, did you for a minute think, I won't have the strength to do this? Did you feel like you needed this?
I felt like I needed to get it off me. I feel like I feel a sense of relief by me telling my story. What I felt was I kind of felt bad because I was thinking, what is my family gonna think about me, or what are they gonna say to me, or I even, or you shouldn't do, you know what I'm saying. But I didn't do it for them. I did it for me.
Right.
I'm really fuck what anybody have to say,
Yeah.
because this is my story and this is my truth, and I know what happened to me. And like, I'm
Right.
51 years old, but certain things trigger you. You can watch a movie and it'll fuck with your mental. You can
Yeah.
sit on a man's lap and you just want to go over and tell her mom, see, this the shit I'm talking about right here. Get them. Or you can see people want to go to the damn clubs and just leave their kids with anybody. You don't know what. your child, you just want to go kick it. But you're gonna leave your kids over somebody's house and you don't even know who in that house to have your kids. But people beat kids, they kill kids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you have to protect them. You have to talk to them. And you have to be involved in their lives, and you have to know them and know what's going on with them. And you just and that was my doing it.
Candy, I'm gonna start with you. We've talked about the molestation and the rape. The second part of this conversation is physical violence. Were you trying to say something? Okay, physical abuse. Most times, let me put the statistic on physical abuse. Andrea, you want to get that?
Yeah, what is that? I can't see the
You can't
numbers,
see that
but
up
it says
there.
people are physically abused by an intimate partner each minute in the United States. This adds up to more than 10 million women and men experiencing domestic violence each year. 1 of 4 women and 1 of 7 men have experienced severe physical violence by an intimate partner during their lifetime.
So you dealt with Candy. You dealt with the molestation.
You took a deep breath. We fucked up, but go ahead.
Like, this is a lot. You be like,
You dealt with the molestation to being an adult and getting a. Was it your partner who physically abused you?
Yes, my child's father and then a boyfriend.
Okay. You want to tell us about that situation or one instance? I don't know if it was multiple times, but tell us the worst time that you could remember.
Well, the worst time is, I guess the story that I told you the other day, where he ended up breaking in my house while I was asleep. And that's why I sleep with my door locked and 2 night lights, and I'm 44. But he ended up like he wouldn't ever punch me in the face. He may choke me or put fear in me as far as like what he's gonna do to me. First person that ever called me out of my name. And that about crushed me. Now when somebody said, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh my bitch, great, But it just, like I said, I wasn't ever punched by him. It might have been a choke. He had me scared though, because I just didn't experience that type of stuff. So we stayed together at the time. That was the only guy that I've ever stayed with, or that allowed to stay with me. And I went to my sister's wedding rehearsal that night. So I wake up and he's coming down my hall, and I'm not understanding how he even got back in, because I made sure the doors and stuff was locked. He didn't have a key. But what he did was he made sure he left the bathroom window unlocked so he can come through the window whenever I came back home. So, and then he ended up, we ended up fighting that night, and he had a habit of like snatching the cords out the wall. So I would kind of, and this is nothing but God, because I pieced some phones together just so I can call the police. So I kind of hid in my washroom until the police came, and they wanted me to come out and open the door. I'm like, y'all got something y'all can do. I'm not coming out this washroom. Mm-hmm. So they ended up coming in with the dogs or whatever and taking him. And I think he spent like 90 days in the county jail. But that's probably, kind of the gist of that.
Yeah. Yo, your story. When we was talking about your story, your physical abuse was also with the boyfriend when you were older, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, if you thought that Yo-Yo's story was jaw dropping, Yo, tell him the story that you told me about the boyfriend.
Okay, so when I was in my early 20s, I started dating this guy, and I was really in love with this guy. Like, you couldn't tell me about him. But maybe the first, I was with him for 6 years overall. But like during the first 2 years we were together, everything was good. But like after the third year we were dating, he just started to, I don't know if it was a sense of jealousy. I don't know what it was, but he just started being real overprotective, jealous when I go out with my friends and stuff. If I'm looking good and have clothes on, he used to always say stuff like, "What nigga you going to go see?" or whatever. So we would just fight constantly all the time. So maybe after like 4.5 years, going on 5 years, I just got tired of fighting him. Like we would just fight all the time for bullshit. But it was bad. So it got so bad till the point where I had to have the police to escort me to work. They had to pick me up from work to take me home. Then I left my apartment. I went to a battered women's shelter to get away from him because he wouldn't leave me alone. I had restraining orders. He didn't give a damn about the restraining orders. He would still come at me, try to fight me, bite me in my face, just all kind of stuff. So the breaking point for me was I went to the battered women's shelter. I stayed there for about 5 months. I got out the battered women's shelter and started living with my mom. And at this point, I had left him alone completely. I just wanted to get away from this dude. But this particular day, he had called me and he was like, I'm sick. You know, I'm going through something. Could you bring me some medicine? It was something like that. And I was like, no, are you there?
Go ahead. You want to see it? Go ahead.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway.
No, I was just putting you up on the screen. Go ahead.
He was like, could you bring me some medicine? And I was like, I know I shouldn't be doing this. So I called one of my friends and I was like, hey, can you take me over his house to take him some medicine? She was like, hell no, I'm not taking you there. You don't need to go over there. Right. And I was like, he ain't going to do nothing to me. He just needs some medicine. He's sick. She was like, I do not want to take you over there. Don't go. So I begged her. And after I begged her, she was like, I'm going to take you over there, but I'm not staying. I'm leaving. And so she couldn't stand him. So she took me over there and I'm over there. I'm giving him the medicine and he looking at me and I'm looking at him, but he ain't looking right. You know what I'm saying? So we at his mom's house and we go upstairs to the attic part. When we get upstairs to the attic part, he just slaps me. And I'm like, what the, I didn't came over here and brought you medicine. I didn't come over here to fight you. But anyway, we get the fight and stuff. And then all of a sudden he locks the door to the attic and he choked me. He choked me so hard till I urinated on myself. And so I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm looking up at him. Then he was like, didn't I tell you that if you ever left me, I was going to kill you? If I can't have you, nobody could have you. And he pulled a gun out. And I was like, you can be with me. I don't want nobody else. I just want to be me and you. I love you. Fuck what I said, in the past, whatever. I'll just be with you. I just don't want to fight that and the other. But I don't want anybody but you. But he was like, no, you left me. Then he started playing Russian roulette with my head. So I know how many bullets are in the gun. So he just kept playing with me, like, putting a gun to my head, clicking. I was like, oh my God, no, please don't kill me. Don't kill me. So then we go over to the bed and he's sitting on me and my arms are behind me like this. So he's sitting on, putting out his weight on me. I can't get up. And again, we upstairs in the house on the second floor in an attic of his mama house. He kept on clicking the gun. And at this point he crying. And I'm like, oh my God, in my mind, he finna fucking kill me. He finna fucking kill me. And I'm like, no, please don't kill me. I love you. I love you. So then he took the gun and he put it to my head. And I don't know how, but I got the strength and I hit his hand back like that. And when I hit his hand, the gun went off. So I just took off running. I jumped through the window. When I jumped through the window, in my mind, I thought I was going to land in some bushes. I can laugh about it now. I thought I was going to jump in some bushes and take off running down the street and try to go get some help. When I jumped out the window, y'all, I hit the concrete.
From the second floor?
From the second floor. Jumped through the glass, the blinds, and everything. The glass, first of all, the glass split my lip in half and cut my arm. So when I hit the concrete, my head busted wide open. I cracked my pelvis. I broke my arm and I broke my leg. I passed out because blood was I think I passed out because of all the blood that I was wasting. Because like I said, my head was busted wide open. I hit nothing but concrete. And it's just blood everywhere. So I just was out of it. So I came to, and when I came to, I heard the ambulance. But I couldn't see anything because my eyes were bloodshot red. And I was trying to move my body, but I was on the ground and I was just doing like this. I was just on the ground, just moving my body, but I really couldn't do anything because, like I said, my pelvis was cracked. When the ambulance came, they put me on a stretcher. I hear them talking, what happened? What happened? And all I could say was, he's trying to kill me. He's trying to kill me. So they went in the house, they arrested him or whatever, and I'm in the hospital. I'm in the hospital for 2 weeks. I had to go to rehab to learn how to move my arm, learn how to walk again. And I just kept doing my face like this because I thought I had lost all my teeth. When I hit the concrete, I thought my teeth were knocked out. And I finally, when I was able to stand up on my own, I walked over to this is like the second week in the hospital, I walked over to the mirror right before I went home. And I just looked at my face and I just started crying. I said, God, why? Why me? Why do stuff keep happening to me? Like, why? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And I remember I had rings on my finger. The ring, when I hit the concrete, all the rings went through my skin. My grandmother, she was my person of contact. Before I went into surgery, my grandmother came to the hospital and they was telling my grandmother that my pelvis was cracked, and they wanted my grandmother to sign some paperwork stating that if they do surgery on me, it was a 50% chance I'd be able to walk again, or a 50% chance I'll be okay. And my grandmama looked at me, put her hands on me, and she said, "Don't do surgery. She gonna be okay." So after I went to rehab to, move my arms and my legs again, and my pelvis healed on its own, thank you, God. 4 months, I was okay. But those first 4 months of my life that I went through hell.
Did you ever see this guy again? Did he go to jail? Did he go to the pen for this situation?
Yeah, he went to prison, but I remember before he went to prison when we were in court. Now, I was on a walker when we went to court because I still couldn't, walk that good. And one of either his homeboy or his brother, somebody came over to me and tried to pay me off in court not to testify against him. They came in the women's bathroom at the courthouse. And I was like, no, he tried to kill me. I'm pressing charges. So his family couldn't stand me or whatever, but I'm like, why y'all mad at me? He did this to me. I'm the fucking victim.
Right.
Y'all mad at him for what he did to me.
Right. I ask what, and there's some comments, Tristan, that some people are commenting. I'm gonna let you read those comments and then.
Andrea says, "This is why it's so important to keep your open line of communication with your children, boys and girls." Nika says, "Exactly." Foot says, "Damn, Tristan, that was cold world. Being locked up. I've seen guys get put in your situation, not being popular or not having a street background. Basically, getting introduced to it and get rewarded with commissary and etc. for doing these acts to the point where it became normal to them. But my heart was so cold locked up. It was nothing. It wasn't nothing. Your story opened my eyes to the innocence of the force put on them." Foot says, "My question is the psychological part of these experiences because it seems like it becomes repetitive, and these are the relationships that victims tend to keep getting in."
That's true.
Yolanda says, "It is courageous for you all to talk about this. Your story is definitely helping someone else. I pray for healing for each of you. Tristan, you know I love you always." Thank you, Yolanda.
And that's my thing. I mean, our women, our black and brown women are just really going through these things. Oftentimes we don't talk to people about it. We just cope with it. You have triggers that take you back to those things. My question to you guys is how do we able to get to the other side of it? Is it something that we'll die with this? Is it something that, and obviously I feel like when you talk about it, Yo, Candy, same thing. You guys got emotional because am I understanding that this is the first time that Candy, I know Yo, this is your first time. Candy, is this your first time talking about it on the public platform, basically?
Yes.
And so, talking about it makes you have to relive it.
Right. Like I told you, I'm like, I didn't realize how jacked up it sounds. I said it to you, because I'm not going to say it kind of like it becomes normal because other people may push it to the side as if it's not anything, but you realize how big it is when you say it and gain the knowledge of what happened.
Right. And so my hope and my prayer is that whatever keeps you guys ticking every day, You don't know, I'll say this again, you don't know how this has helped the people that are on this platform. I see that Patricia Moreland, she said, I don't know if Tristan, did you read Patricia's comment where she said that something it happened to her as well? Patricia Moreland, one of our. Okay. Patricia Moreland, let me see if I could go back to her comment. She said, I am also a victim of rape from a boyfriend. Patricia Moreland. Yeah, okay, you already read that. And Andrea is saying, and I totally agree that it's more than 1 in 6, especially with our Black women.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
You know, oftentimes, you know, I don't know why us Black people say what happens in our house stays in our house, and that is the biggest bunch of crap. Yeah. That our mothers train us. Don't tell my business. What happened in my house need to stay in my house.
Well, and I think that came from things happening to them as well. These are generational curses, and they just go from one generation to the next. And so you keep the monotonous of it going until someone does have the courage to make the change. And I think that too, listening to Candy and Yo-Yo, you know, Foot says that is this something psychological? It is, because a lot of times what happens is when things happen to you, like I was saying, you do have all of these issues, and then it's their choices. You know, it's the choices. A lot of women who have been victimized from rape and molestation have been victimized with fighting, you know, and it's just another layer and another layer and another layer. And so, again, that's why I tell people, you know, you just have to get to another place and try to get delivered, because, you know, once an alcoholic, always an alcoholic. But when you're delivered from something, you can talk about it. You can go around people. You can go in the dwelling. You can move in that thing like it almost didn't happen, or like you're not wearing it. And so I just ask God every day to deliver me from those things. You know,
this is definitely psychological.
Yes, it most definitely is psychological.
And I think our end.
Did you fight? Have you fought in relationships?
I wouldn't say I fought in relationships. I would say I'm a fighter. I became a fighter because I was a timid little boy. I was quiet. I was always quiet. Yeah. I know I get mad at my sister because she's quiet. You know, she's reserved. But I was quiet, so it made me a fighter. I didn't start fights, but I'm a fighter now. So like, that's probably the only best thing that came from it, because I can take care of myself. I can stand up for myself. Right. I don't have to call these people if I'm getting into something, which I rarely do. I'm basically a fighter. It made me stronger. That deep inside of me, that's why I don't want to talk to anybody, because that helps me stay strong.
Right.
Like that gave me the strength. Like I will fight, but it's not in like domestic relationships. Like,
and Tristan, I see, and I see Tristan is still wearing this.
If we're having
he's still kind of wearing this.
If I have a disagreement with somebody, I'm going to be the one. I want to take the
right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's more so where that comes from. You want to fight,
right?
Because I got some aggression to let out. You know what I'm saying? It's the right time. Right. Like that's my attitude towards stuff. It's not that I'm angry. But I used to be angry, but now I challenge it. Like you couldn't even look at me. I couldn't even order food I was so bad that I couldn't even order food at McDonald's. Like if you look at me wrong, you take my order wrong. Like it was up with me. Like I had to do a 360, or it would have been bad for me. So like, I think my aggression didn't go into relationships. So I think my relationship part is that I was searching for something. It's like a search. It's psychological, but it's like a search. You're searching for these people. That's why those people don't go. That's why Candy didn't leave. That's why Yo-Yo didn't leave, because it's a search for something that you just look. It's like you're looking for something, and so that's why you get in those relationships, because you're searching for something. It's like a search. You're looking for something. You're looking for yourself within. But when you get comfortable with yourself, you find yourself at least 75% of yourself. Because I feel like I found at least 75% of myself. You kind of don't deal with that type of stuff anymore. So like I don't deal with I don't deal with niggas. I don't deal with that type of physical. I don't deal with none of that.
Right.
I'm fighting myself. I think that's the difference with me. I'm fighting myself. Maybe it's a women and men thing. I fought myself.
Right.
And one thing, if I can add this, because of physical abuse, like if I start dating someone, I know if somebody is like unhinged, or if they have these bad moments, I can spot an abuser. It's everything in me to tell me, this isn't crazy, you know. So it's just, because of what happened to me, I'm able to recognize if you're an abusive guy. Even if you try to show up, as be a prototype, I still can tell if you're full of crap and you're abusive.
Right.
So.
Right.
Wow.
That's
You
the truth.
can. You most definitely
You definitely
can.
can.
Yeah. It's a switch. I mean, you can just see it. Like I even can see like sometimes, and this is crazy, but I can almost look at a man and the eyes, they show you what people are looking at. And so when you see them, and I always, when I pray for my husband, I said, God, I don't want the man with the look in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? But the girl, because it's a look, it's the look, and so you are able to discern certain things. And so, yeah.
Let me see my phone. I look up something today, Tristan, and I think I need to read this. It was talking about. Let me go back to what it was. Let me see. This is somebody these are things of an abuser, right? Controlling behavior, unrealistic expectations, somebody that's always jealous. These are people who are protocol abusers. They are cruel to animals or children. They use a lot of verbal abuse, blaming others for problems or mistakes. But let me ask you guys this: what suggestion do you have if somebody's in a relationship where that man hit you one time and he apologized and said that he'll never do it again?
Leave.
He's gonna do it again. It's gonna get worse.
Leave.
You need to leave.
Yeah.
She's right.
It's just like saying somebody saying, "Oh, I'm not going to cheat again." It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
You can't even call my name. You can't even say the wrong.
But it's something empty in us for sometimes, and I may be wrong about this, but it's something empty in us to where they can come back and say, "Baby, I love you," et cetera, et cetera. Because some things that goes on in my life, I'm like, because people say you'll block folks quick. I learned to love myself a lot more these days to where I don't have to put up with your shit.
Right.
I'm not desperate for love to where I gotta just kind of ignore the signs that are blatantly there, So yeah, I don't know.
So you noticed the red flag. Yo, you were saying something when Candy was talking. You were saying something.
No, I was just saying I'm out of there. You can't even talk to me the wrong way. I'm gone. Yeah, if we having a conversation and you say the wrong thing, you'll never see me again.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this again. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah. Man, this is just taking over our community.
Yeah, I done brought down my soft side today.
Yeah, this is.
And I think somebody needs to get it back in the schools. I think that like it's one of the things that is not talked about in schools. And I know people don't send your kids to school to have a is your family, but they need some kind of little box. They need some kind of little something. We used to have Dare back when we was in school, but there is nothing for kids these days that's just in a school that says, if this is happening to you, you can tell, like this is you have counselors, but nobody is teaching some people good touch, bad touch. Don't, this is wrong. And, so I wish that, they would kind of move to something like that, because I think it probably would help some people.
Well, again, before we leave, I want to put the National Sexual Assault Hotline number. That's up there. If you are a victim of sexual assault, please don't hesitate to call that number. They are trained professionals to get you help, to get you step by step to what you're doing. I'm going to also post this on all of our social medias, on the Unpacking the Baggage podcast Facebook page. Please tell somebody. Please talk to somebody. Please call that number. They have trained professionals to help you through this. And I want to say to Candy and Yo-Yo, thank you again. You guys are brave. I am so glad that you guys are taking your power back. I will continue to pray for you guys when I say my prayers. And if the podcast could be any help to you, and yo, I do want to have a conversation by trying to help you get to someone, because you said you were ready to talk to somebody. And so I will call you. I know it's a holiday week coming up, but I know you're coming to town, and I would love to see you. I know when you come to town, I hardly ever see you, but I would love to see you and give you a great big hug when I see you.
Okay.
And Candy, if I can get your ass to come out of Lone Oak long enough to see you again, you don't go nowhere. But no, thank y'all.
Thank you so
Y'all were brave for this. I think y'all are helping so many people that you don't even know and imagine. So thank y'all for telling your story. And we will be in touch, and let us know if we could help you any further as a podcast. Okay.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
You guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye, Candy. Bye, Yo-Yo.
Okay.
All right. All right. So we got to call Chris way up here. Let me get Yo out of here. We have to call Chris way up here. Whew, that was a lot to unpack. That was a lot. Let me see if I could get Chris way up on the phone for the news you can use. And I hope they can hear her.
Let me see that phone.
You want to see him? Okay. What up, way up? Hold that for me.
Y'all got this sad stuff going on. Y'all done killed my vibe. It's so fucking sad. Y'all know I'm sensitive to that type of shit.
Well, I mean, way up. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I mean, oftentimes we can talk about the stuff that makes you laugh. Oftentimes we can talk about the funny stuff, the real stuff, but we have to really, this is what this platform is for, is just helping people. And so I feel like we did our job tonight in talking about something that was really sensitive and help some people. You had a short week this week, well.
Yeah, because the week was all about me. I really didn't report too much because I really didn't care because it's my birthday.
Well, let me stop real quick. You have a birthday tomorrow. Big round of applause. It's Webb's birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Webb. Happy birthday to you.
And many
more. Okay.
She's gonna make that cash app jump.
Oh Lord, come on with your news. Yeah, let me get your phone. Let me get your header here so we can
wait before we jump into that. Where Anthony at today?
I don't know what the hell. I don't know.
And you know what? And it's the crazy part where they don't say nothing. Like when he ain't here, it ain't nothing. It's just go make the crickets chirp and all this stuff. When I'm here, y'all got to have a full-fledged conversation on Andrea.
Hey, listen. One thing for sure is Way Up is going to call it out. If we don't say nothing, Way Up is. I don't know. I got to get my crew together. I don't know. Tristan, it's no call, no show for Anthony too. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what's. We might be having an opening for a new comedian.
I'll be here every day. I ain't on the unpacking the bag.
Whatever.
I'm just drinking my Mountain Dew.
Yeah, just drink it and close those lips.
Last week it was tree limbs and pit bulls. This week is flight.
Well, see, you done got some shit started. Let me play your damn intro so you can go and do it. Oh well, hold on a second. Let's do it again. Webb, I'm sorry. Let's get it together. There we go.
It's in the news. And we're talking about it. It's in the news. With Chris Webb.
All right, on the phone with the birthday girl, Chris Webb, with the news you can use. Chris, come on to give us what you got going on this weekend.
Okay, so B-Level, you've been through a breakup, right? You caught your girlfriend before in your life cheating on you or doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing, right?
I don't know that I caught her, but I experienced cheating. Being in a relationship with someone has cheated on me. Yes, I have.
Okay,
Oh, you
so
got.
you know that feeling.
Were you doing the cheating or did you get cheated on?
No, she
Right. Which
said
one? Who's-
caught
who's
somebody
doing
cheating
cheating?
on me. Yes.
She said somebody cheating on you.
Yeah, she said somebody
So,
cheating on me.
Is that feeling enough to drive you to collect your girlfriend's things and throw them out in the streets and attempt to set them on fire?
Hell no.
So you ain't never turned the Angela Bassett on the beat?
No, I ain't never did no live about no girl cheating. I ain't never set her shit on fire. I ain't never did none of that. I ain't never did none of that. None of that. None of that. And I done been cheated on. I just ain't never did that. Hell. They just got their lick back, look like.
Okay.
Because he was doing all the cheating before that.
Dollar, make them holler. Went live at 3 a.m. and had his girlfriend's things thrown on the streets and was trying to set them on fire with no lighter fluid. And then he even admitted that they're going back and forth, like she was just with another nigga last week and she actually pulled up with another nigga to get her clothes.
Wait a minute. So he caught his girl cheating. He threw the clothes out, tried to burn them out. I'm just want to recap.
Right.
And the girl come up with her dude to get her clothes.
With the nigga that had put her out last week prior. She pulled up with that nigga and got her shit.
Oh Lord, who is it? That's Anthony. Okay, let's play the video. Let's play the video. Let's play Dollar video. Okay, hold on.
Look at these clowns. Get this shit up out my motherfucking house. You don't have no house. You gotta go stay from nigga to nigga. And I'm finna set it on fire. Look at me. That's why you said. Setting that shit on fire. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Ain't nobody gonna do nothing. Look at you. You had to speed over it, didn't you? Babe, in your session so you come help me out. Hey, help you. Yeah. Get all your shit. I was just in your session with you last week. You remember how you was fucking me last week? Darling, it feels so good. Hey, I just made her come last week, bro. I don't know what you gonna do, but I know what I'm gonna do. Get your shit. Get your shit on live. Get your shit on live. Get all your shit on live.
He in his feelings.
Get all your shit on live. While your nigga help you get your shit on your live.
Majorly.
Both of y'all, get your shit on live. Both of y'all.
Burning the clothes.
Get your shit on live.
That was it.
Girl, you did 12 hours last week.
We got to talk of this, but we put that out. So listen, Will. Y'all not in the camera. Anthony got to scoot over that way. Anthony. He late. Yeah, he late. Listen, they. Wait a minute.
Right,
you know, Webb.
You need to turn the thing.
Webb just got through. Y'all gotta come over a little bit. Webb just got through saying Anthony is a no call, no show. What time is it? It's 9 o'clock. And Anthony,
it's over. We're getting ready to go home.
What you say, Webb?
Well, then there would have been no call, no show.
This motherfucker showed up at 9 o'clock when the Webster. Hold on. Webb, let me get this motherfucking sounder. This nigga showed up. I know Anthony did not show up at 9 o'clock when we get off.
I'm definitely employee of the month.
Yeah, we see you got your little handicap parking spot out there. So yeah. You
It's employee of the month.
So.
If I go down, everybody go down. It's bigger than me. Goddamn it.
Listen, so Dollar didn't. So let's get back to Dollar way up. So he catch his girl cheating. He takes her clothes out. He takes it outside. He tried to set the clothes on fire, and the dude that she was messing with brought her home to get her clothes.
And he went left and screamed out, "I had that pussy soaking wet last week."
Yeah, that's something I would have said.
Oh my goodness!
I don't know what you finna do, but I know what I'm finna do, and I just had that pussy with last week.
And what's crazy, y'all, he agreed to come on. I didn't get a chance. I called B-Love. He agreed to come on while you was telling his story. I knew you was going to tell his story.
There it is.
Yeah,
Why
so
you didn't tell me?
I called you, but I had got busy. But we gonna get him on here. We gonna give him a chance to get on here and tell his side of the story.
Oh, hey, Webb, did you say Tristan say he wants to come on?
We did. Yeah, I did talk to him.
What's his number?
I talked to him on live. I was on Brittany, the last guest we had, Brittany, the comedian.
Yeah.
We actually went live, and he was actually on her live, and we was talking about it. And he said he's in agreement to come on. So I tagged him in here. So he'll probably after.
Oh my goodness!
I just tagged him. I said, "Get here now."
Oh Lord!
So
get his number. Get his number.
Number.
All right, go ahead and tell your other story. Maybe we can get him on. Well, what's your other story?
My other story is it's my birthday.
That is not your other story. Your other story is they signed somebody from Little Rock, didn't they?
Okay, yeah. So do y'all know Anna Lewis?
Yes, that's one of my clients.
Y'all know who Herman Lewis? He used to have a club. I can't remember. Was it Power?
Yeah.
Was it the name of it? Well, his niece has been signed, No 360, and I just wanted to give her a shout out because that's major. We need to always encourage and support people that's trying to do good for themselves. So she just got a $750,000 check to get her shit together. So let's wish her well and hope for the best for her.
I love it.
And my song right now, she said it's 4 years old, but my song right now is "Give Me Head." Like it's lit.
Is that her song?
Give Me Head.
Oh boy. Okay.
And she got another song with Jack Boy. I think Let Me See That Pussy from the Back, and she got like a challenge going on. That thing going crazy too.
Okay. All right.
You know all about some booty. You know, I like to see some booty shaking. Yeah.
What are you doing tomorrow for your birthday, Will?
Once you get some of my cash out.
Sneaking in Little Rock and take a photo shoot.
She talking about want me to say. I'm gonna send you something tomorrow for your birthday, Will, up on your Cash App. I'm gonna Cash App you something.
$, get lights with 2 D's if Tristan and Drea and your untimely.
If you want my money, baby, you gotta do what you say you like to do. Show some booty.
Tell her she can't be like to something she gotta do over the phone every Sunday.
Tristan.
She can't be like to something she gotta do over the
phone.
Yeah. Come on now. Yeah. We gotta come
Tristan,
into the station.
Did you see my picture of STK?
What you see?
All right, well, I'm gonna hit your Cash App tomorrow, Webb. Happy birthday on tomorrow.
All right, thank you guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
All right.
Bye.
All right. So yeah, I don't know if you guys know, before we get off, y'all know that TD Jakes had a medical scare today. Did y'all know that?
Nah.
That's news. I got the video. Let me play it real quick before we get out of here.
It was a pleasure. I still love to preach. I ain't tired of preaching. I miss you. I miss you. Have you ever gone to a hospital to visit somebody and you thought you was going to encourage them and they encourage you? That's what preaching is like. You think you're giving out something, but you're getting back more than you gave. I love you. Now, Lord, let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. O Lord, my strength, my Redeemer. Let them go in peace.
Take your time.
So anyway, he was preaching today, and he had a medical emergency in the pulpit. Now, since then, I've went and the Potter House has issued a statement. Can you see that, Andrea?
During today's service, Bishop T.D. Jakes experienced a slight health incident and received immediate medical attention. Following his powerful hour-long message, Bishop Jakes is stable and under the care of medical professionals. The entire Potter's House family is grateful for the outpouring of love, prayers, support from the community. Thank you for understanding and continued prayers.
So our prayers goes out to TD Jakes. Hopefully his, I don't know what he was going through. They said he preached a whole sermon and he's getting older, and hopefully, nothing seriously happened with him. They said that he is he's very stable and he has medical attention. But that happened on this afternoon in the pulpit. So our prayers go out for Bishop T.D. Jakes. P, where the hell you been, bro? What the fuck?
Man, I mean, I thought they were talking about you. Shannon said he's a weak ass Negro. I'm like, they talk about
Jakes. T.D. Jakes.
Dollar Bill.
Oh, Dollar Bill. They said what now? They said what?
He's a weak ass Negro. But
we delayed.
They talking about Dollar Bill.
Well, and I don't know if something like that happened, Andrea. If you were dating somebody that did that to you, what would you think about that? If a guy put your clothes out?
I mean, I think that whoever just made that comment, that's a whole ass nigga. Like, we don't do shit like that.
That's crazy.
So it's good for y'all to do it with the women, but the men can't do it.
We said hoe.
But that's some
bitch shit. That's what bitches
What, to
do.
put your stuff out?
Yeah, bitches do shit like that.
You put that pussy out, you put your clothes out.
No, listen, the man, you didn't see it.
Didn't see it, P.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so what happened was the girl got caught cheating.
Yeah.
So the dude took all of her clothes outside of the apartment
and put them
on the steps and tried to light them and burn them up. Okay, in the process, the dude that she was messing with drives up
with her
in the car to get her.
It wasn't no problem. He didn't do nothing.
No, they saying, is that like female? Like, is that
fool? He probably burning up the clothes that he bought.
No, but the point is that's just girl shit.
See, that's why I don't buy you gifts.
I think it was more so of the animation of it. The animation.
Yeah, with all the dry snitching.
It was more animated. It was more like
he was like, yeah, I screwed you last week.
Oh no, he shouldn't do all that.
Yeah, it was more animated. It was more like a hood bitch. It was more. They was giving like that.
I would have kept the clothes and gave them to the Goodwill, or gave them to another chick that would get another less fortunate woman out here. There's a lot of girls out here that's less fortunate, So I would have gave them to her.
Wow.
I just think that he shouldn't have. That was just too much. And it was too girly.
They were making memes about it.
And then they were saying somebody called him a 4-piece chicken tender.
I don't know what that means. But that's why you shouldn't fuck with less fortunate hoe. Get your girl that got her own place.
Or me.
Yeah. Don't fuck with no less fortunate hoe. Don't try to save them. All you do is be trying to save these girls. Man, no, get your girl that got at least a house, an apartment or something. She ain't gotta have a headboard on the bed, but she got at least have a bed. I can put the bricks up on it and make it stand up a little bit higher,
Dollar, if you're listening, man, we want to talk to you, man. Hit my line, hit the inbox. Dollar, if you're listening, these people want to talk to you, man. You're trending. They want to talk to you. If you're listening, brother, anybody tag Dollar, y'all let them know B-Level want to talk to them. Let them want to come on the show. So this week, Thanksgiving, y'all. Where are you spending Thanksgiving at, P?
Man, somebody's house, whoever can cook.
Tristan, where are you spending your Thanksgiving?
The salon.
You gonna be working?
I'm gonna be cooking.
You gonna be cooking? I gotta work too, Tristan. So you and I will be working.
No time off until January.
Yeah, we'll be making that bread, making that money. So I need to just say to you guys, for the holidays, happy holidays. Spend some time with your family. Thanksgiving is probably one of the, I think, is the best holiday. You get most times you get to spend with your family. So make sure you spend some time. Families are leaving here. People are leaving here quickly. So spend some time with your loved ones. Let them know you love them, because you never know which day is going to be their last day. So if you get a chance to see some family and hang out with them and have a good time, by all means, I think you should do that.
Mm-hmm.
Foot said it's sad niggas out here acting like females and doing the stuff females will do out here. That's the way of the world now. They out here acting like me.
What's that? Bitch ass.
All right, to next Sunday. I think if y'all got anything else going on, next Sunday is not your hair show.
No,
the December the 8th.
Sunday after that. So yeah,
The
I'll
8th.
be in Birmingham doing the hair competition.
But you will be here next Sunday. It's the Sunday after that. It's the 8th.
What nobody else here this Sunday?
No, I'm saying that's not the.
He said you gonna be here next Sunday.
I'm leaving. I'm gonna be late this next Sunday.
That's not the day that you're gonna be there. Okay.
It's the Sunday after that.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure we do some broadcasting live there to stream your performance. All right, so if we don't have anything to do, listen. This week is Thanksgiving, as I said. Make sure you hug your loved ones, tell them you love them, spend some time with their family, and we will see you the following Sunday afterwards. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night.